All right, guys, let's connect today, January 14th, 2024, coming at you live stream to talk about the Walking Dead Universe, The Ones Who Live trailer. Man, a lot to talk about, but hopefully you're doing well. You and yours on this Sunday, January 14th, 2024. The NFL playoffs are underway. If you were a Chiefs fan or a Texans fan, you're happy today. If you are not, then I guess, well, if you were a Bills fan, you got to wait till Monday. Steelers, Eagles, Bucks. Today is the Cowboys, Packers, and the Lions, Rams. So hopefully you're doing well. Talk about the trailer, talk about The Walking Dead. There's not much other news just yet. You know, we talked about it for the previous couple of weeks. What's been going on in The Walking Dead universe? Not much. I know we asked last live stream, where's the trailer? When are we getting the trailer? And then boom, less than a week later, because it was last Sunday to this Sunday, we got the trailer. Pretty awesome stuff. They answered some questions a little bit with Michonne and her people and that, but they're enticing you to watch. They're intriguing you to watch. They're setting things up for hopefully a good season, and I guess series if it's 6 episodes. So I don't know what the plan is for The Ones Who Live, which I was thinking about the title. That's pretty funny, right? You know, it's The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. So why is it all of a sudden that Rick and Michonne are the ones who live? Or is it bigger than that? Is it bigger that the people, is it the bigger concept of we're the ones who live? You know, CRM is ultimately the villains, the bad guys. They're all dressed in black. They have black helicopters, black vehicles. You know, they're just obviously the villains. So I don't really want to see like Rick and Michonne just take on the CRM. And then, hey, that's it, right? Like, I think all of us want to have some big moments in the Walking Dead universe. And if it's ultimately Rick and Michonne being reunited to go against the CRM with new characters and what it is, I don't know. I don't know what the thing is, what they expect from it, because the big thing was Rick and Michonne being reunited. Okay, good. Then what? Then what? Then what? You know? Cameron, do you think Rick will purposely rank up to gain attention and he'll give a big speech by the end? I don't know. I mean, I don't think Rick's going to be like right under Major General Beale. Like, it makes no sense that Major General Beale is talking to Rick in the trailer. So I guess spoiler warning if you haven't seen the trailer, but go check it out, come back. But Rick and Major General Beale are there talking on a bench, probably outside of Philadelphia, somewhere in New Jersey. You know, it's just like there. Why would the Major General go talk to Rick Grimes? Like, what is Rick Grimes doing? He's a guy. He's not another leader of another group or anything. He's just one of their workers. But he's Rick Grimes, right? So we know Rick Grimes. We love Rick Grimes. He is the focal point, or one of the focal points of the entire Walking Dead universe. So yeah, it makes sense. But does it make sense for the story? Does it make sense for everything? I don't know. I saw somewhere that Andrew Lincoln teased that it's gonna feel very different, which I get it. You know, I think it's going to be different because it's going to be Rick and Michonne, and it's not going to be Daryl and Carol and everybody else connected with that way, and Negan. It's not going to be anything like that. But I don't want to feel like too different. Like, the good thing about the Daryl Dixon show, like, it felt like The Walking Dead, old school Walking Dead. Like, I don't need them to reinvent the wheel. I don't need them to do new and exciting and try stuff, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. And hopefully it works. Hopefully the entire writing and concepts and production and story and CGI and everything works. Now, it would have been really crazy, because I did my breakdown of the trailer. Like, the trailer came out, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, and then people were like, where's your breakdown? Where's your breakdown? Where's your breakdown? Well, life's been kind of crazy with my job and stuff and everything like there too. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wake up early today, get it done, knock it out, and do my trailer breakdown. So it's a good trailer. We get to see stuff that we already saw, but some new stuff with the helicopter blowing up the building and them attacking the cities. And, you know, like, it's one of those things where what if it would have been really crazy if it was CRM going into hospitals and clearing people out. Like that would have been really cool. Like that would have been such an advancement because it's not. Like it's the first season and there's no way to tell that. And Shane's flashback, we couldn't really tell. They didn't have this plan for CRM. CRM was added so many seasons later that they kind of pulled it out of nowhere and kind of pulled it out there, you know what. But it's one of those things where it is what it is. And, hopefully it makes sense. But, it would have been really cool to see, and hopefully there is some more backstory of CRM. Like, I don't need too much backstory because if we only have 6 episodes, there's a lot for them to do still, like in those 6 episodes. And I'm hoping that they're really close to an hour because 6 hours is still, for me, not enough. Like, there's still so many things that I want to happen. And it's just going to go on more than 6 hours, 6 episodes. Like, it just doesn't make sense, too. So, yeah, Cameron, I have no idea if they made CRM do like everything. If CRM was connected with this, if CRM made the variants, if CRM bombed this, if CRM did that, if CRM did this, if CRM did that. It's wishful thinking. Like, I would think that CRM rose up after the end of the world. They came about because of what happened there. So it would have been really cool to see CRM going against another military group or militia or something, and then CRM ultimately won. Like the people that survived banded together, banded together, whatever you want to call it, came together and started this. The New World Order, the powers that be there too. And not Negan and his baseball bat, guys with helicopters and Humvees and, just military stuff. That would be kind of interesting. So I think it would be kind of interesting to see if they go that route or not. But, from the trailer, it was awesome. They show a lot of Michonne, a decent amount of Rick, a tiny bit, a glimpse of Jadis, the new character that's with Michonne, some characters that we saw from season 10 with Michonne. And it's pretty cool. Like, it's a good taste and a good teaser for the ones who live. And I'm glad because I remember last Sunday, a lot has happened in a week. Less than a week. So last Sunday, we were talking about the last week of the NFL season. Where's the trailer? Where's this? When are we going to get it? When is this going to happen there? I'm a Cowboys fan, so the Cowboys won. They won the division. They have a home field advantage until they play. Hopefully they make it to play the 49ers. If the 49ers lose and they keep winning, they'll have home field advantage throughout the rest of the play. Who knows? There's a lot of good stuff happening in the NFL right now. A lot of good storylines, a lot of big stuff. Hopefully you saw that game last night with the Chiefs. So I want to switch gears for a second. It kind of ties into the Walking Dead universe a little bit, but yeah, no, I don't care, John. Like I don't care that much about wrestling. Like I don't care about Jinder Mahal or Tony Khan, this, that, AEW, Dolph Ziggler going to AEW. I could care less about any of that. But I'll probably watch Royal Rumble at the end of the month, and we'll see what happens there. If CM Punk wins and becomes the thing, like I would assume CM Punk's probably gonna win, but we'll see. Or come down to the very end with him and the Scottish guy or whatever. So we'll have to see what happens with all that, but that's coming up in 2 weeks. So ultimately, I'm watching a show. My wife and I, we just started the show Succession on Max, HBO Max, and we just watched the 3rd episode this morning, and it's getting better. The first 2 episodes are pretty weak, but the wife or ex-wife or whatever she is to one of the main characters of the family you're following is the doctor from World Beyond, the woman doctor that was with the Bennetts and basically using Dr. Bennett, and she was working on the research and all stuff there. It's the same actress that plays and the same actress that's in World Beyond. It's pretty cool to see that. Anytime I see people that are outside The Walking Dead, I'm like, oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, that's so. It's always that person from The Walking Dead or The Walking Dead universe. Like Kim Dickens will always be Madison. Alicia is Alicia because it's Alicia Debnam Carey. We also started Echo, and that is a weird show. Like, it always starts with this Native American stuff and everything. And at first, I was like, did I click the right show? Like, what am I watching here? But then it carries in with, Maya and everything. But we finished episode 3 last night, and there's 5 episodes, so we have 2 more there, and Kingpin and Dare. It's okay. It's an okay show so far. So hopefully it's probably going to set up the next Daredevil show, which I'm hoping John Bernthal comes back into that world, because John Bernthal did a really good job as the Punisher, and I'm hoping that he can come back in some way, shape, or form for it too. So we'll see what happens with, the future of the Walking Dead universe, and really the actors too. It's always cool to see these people come back around again too. So Brian says, it looks like the CRM will wipe out Michonne's group. What about the Commonwealth and Portland, maybe in season 2? Yeah, I mean, it's wishful thinking, because there's so many things left. Like, there's Portland, and there's this, and there's the world beyond people that, like, I don't know if we'll ever see them again. Like, is Silas going to... You would think Silas is going to show up at some point, right? Like is she going to be there at all? I don't know. So it's one of those things where I'm just... I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for the Walking Dead universe, especially after this show. Besides, for the Daryl show and then Dead City, I don't know what their plan is. James says, have you seen the Iron Claw? It's one of the best. I haven't seen it, James, but I'm excited to. I want to see Iron Claw. I'm familiar somewhat with that family, and I think it looks very interesting as well. Where did I see? Brian says, I don't see Rick and Michonne being in the rumor crossover spinoff. I don't know. I don't know what their future is. I don't know what the future holds for the Walking Dead universe after this show for Rick and Michonne and going forward, because it should be pretty cool. So I don't know what you're talking about, Brian. I didn't see the actor provide. I didn't see anything like that. Yeah, Anissa says some of Echo was filmed in Grantville, where the Walking Dead did the Clear episode. So when she's like driving around on her motorcycle and a couple other things. So Grantville is where Morgan's house was, or I guess house, yeah. When they filmed there with like the spikes and everything, when Rick, Michonne, and Carl go back and they find Morgan in season 3, that whole area, I think someone bought that area and that town. So you can tell it's that area because of the wall where they have Tamala painted, and then the house over there. It's like there's a separate house here, and then when you turn down the street, you can see it there. And then where Carl and Michonne went in to get the bar, the cat statue, and then the picture of the Grimeses, that it's right there, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty obvious that street is right along there, and it's always cool when other shows, like they film at Terminus as well. In episode 2, I want to say, that there's a spot there, and it's clearly Terminus. You can see where the red building is, and it gives it away with the red buildings and the top the windows. They're boarded up. And you see the train tracks next to it, and then in the distance is the city, which is straight CGI. That's not actually there. And I've actually been there and seen the location for it, and they've filmed there multiple things, multiple times. And it's pretty cool. I mean, I would like to see how many. I don't know where I can find it. If you can see where so many areas of Georgia and certain filming locations were used in so many different productions. But I know, they film a lot in Georgia, which is a great location for that. And a lot of the Marvel stuff is filmed there. So it's pretty cool. If you ever check out Echo, be on the look for that stuff too. Other than that, guys, we're doing well. It's been kind of busy, and hopefully you're staying warm. I know it's cold. It's cold right here, and I'm in Tampa, Florida. So I can imagine, unless you're in South Florida, it's pretty cold everywhere. When I watched the game last night with the Dolphins-Chiefs game, that was pretty ridiculous how cold it was. And it was the 4th coldest. It wasn't even the coldest. It was the 4th coldest. I know the Buffalo game is moved to Monday at 4:30 because the weather. And it's just crazy here. Jeannie says 15 degrees here. The coldest I ever have been is 9 degrees in Birmingham, Alabama, when I was there, in 2009. So 15 years ago there. Arizona, Negan says 65. So there you go. So it's warming up there. So hopefully it's going to get a little warm too as well. So. Brian says, no disrespect to Terry. He's playing Major General Beale. But do you think it's weird that he's Mason's father? I expected he'd be younger. Yes and no. Like, again, timeline-wise, like, I don't know. Like, you're trying to fill in 7 degrees in Ohio. Good Lord, Anissa, stay warm. Stay warm. So, but when you're trying to tie in all these shows of timelines, like, so it's The Walking Dead, then it's Fear the Walking Dead, then it's World Beyond, and then it's this, and then it's Fear the, and they jump ahead and they come back, and then Dead City, and then the ones who live, and then it's like so many years later. It's like, after a while, I'm like, who cares? Like, it's a fictional thing where it's just going to drive you nuts. And I don't even care that much about the timeline of things. I care about the writing, and it's fiction. So not everything is going to make sense when we're doing these different, just trying to put stuff together. It's got to be really difficult to put the timeline of things together and makes it actually work perfectly. Like, and I doubt it would ever work perfectly because there's so many timelines, spin-offs, time jumps, flashbacks. Like, it's just so much stuff jumping around. So it's interesting to see, you know, what is going to be for it. And ultimately, Missouri, Vivian says -8 in Missouri. That's terrible. That's terrible. Like, -8 is just one of those things where you're like, that's not smart. Can't be doing that stuff for sure. So, but ultimately, guys, we're getting closer, you know. So I think it was 7 weeks. So this will be weeks until it's, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. So we're here. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 weeks until The Walking Dead Ones Who Live. 6 weeks away. That'll be here before you know it. So we got the NFL playoffs wrapping up for the next couple weeks. Then we'll have a week off with the Pro Bowl and all that stuff. Then we have the Super Bowl, which is the 11th. 54 in Georgia. Man, all these temperatures are crazy. So the Super Bowl is the 11th. Then we have like nothing on the 18th. And then the 25th is The Ones Who Live. So that makes sense to have it, you know, 18th or 25th, and they went with the 25th. So that's pretty cool to see, you know, what is going on with it. We're getting closer and closer and closer to it. So that's kind of cool because when The Walking Dead World Beyond, Ones Who Live airs on February 25th, I believe the word is, if all goes well, hopefully weather permitting and everything too, is that March is going to be the Dead City Season 2 filming to start in Massachusetts is the word that they're going to start filming in Massachusetts. No more Jersey is the word, but we'll have to see. Maybe stuff happens, or you never know. Because remember when they were like, they're going to film in New Jersey and Georgia for The Ones Who Live, or Summit. It was Walking Dead Summit. And it's pretty cool when you see stuff in the trailer, when you see filming. Like, there was a lot of pictures of filming, and you got to see, you know, Rick in this gear, Rick with blood spatter on his head, Michonne here, Michonne with the people that she saw in The Walking Dead Season 10. Then we see, like, the RV thing with the horse. And it's just like you get to see, and the truck, and you get to see all these cool things. And it's just something that is finally coming, and we're finally getting there, guys. We are finally going to be there, too. So it's going to be awesome to see, you know, it actually be on television. So if we can just make it to February, we have the Super Bowl, and then we got The Ones Who Live starting, and we got production of Dead City Season 2, and also more production that should be going on is in February. Is The Last of Us Season 2. So there's been a lot of casting news about The Last of Us Season 2. So they got, let me check my phone because I have a picture of the casting of it. So we have our Abby, Jesse, and Dina. So Caitlin Deaver is going to be Abby, Young Mazzino is playing Jesse, and Isabella Merced is Dina. So pretty big characters, especially Abby and Dina. So Abby is going to be Caitlin Deaver, or Dever. I don't know how you say her last name. But so I'll have to see what they're going to do with that story. I don't know if they're going to go the way of the video game, especially in Season 2. So we'll have to see if they push it to Season 3. If you know the video game, you know what I'm talking about there. Because I think they want to have a couple seasons of it. Like, nowadays, you don't want to have just one season, one movie. You want to have a trilogy. You want to have 3, 4 seasons of something. Especially, like, a good show. But if it gets drawn out or stretched out too much, I don't know. There's a fine line of it. There's a fine line of wrapping it up too fast or rushing it or drawing it out and stretching it out too far. So hopefully they know what they're doing and they have a plan for it too. Jonathan Wilder, do you think Michonne is going to kill all those? There's no way Michonne is going to kill that field of walkers, right? So in the trailer, she clips like this harpoon tip or spear tip thing on something, or she puts the harpoon in the gun. I'm guessing it's a harpoon, but she puts it in there and she goes and she fires it into this walker that's there. And I don't see like a rod with a thing. It's CGI, obviously, but it's just, I don't know what it is. Like, is it a tracking thing? Is it something that because she's on horseback, so I just don't know what the whole thing of it's going. Diana asks, anyone enjoying Reacher? So I'm enjoying Reacher. I don't know if it's 8 episodes or 10 or what, but I think the 7th episode was just out, and I watched that one, and it's pretty awesome. I enjoy every episode of that. I think the characters playing Reacher is great. I love the supporting actors. The story makes sense, and you kind of can see, like, based on where it's going, especially in the latest episode. The first episode, or the first season, it ended kind of in a warehouse type of thing. They're kind of going that way in Season 2, so we'll have to see if that's kind of how the writing goes as well. So it's still interesting, exciting, and there's a lot of action, and it's just good. Every episode is just entertaining. Like it doesn't feel, it's a quick, episodes are like 40, 50 minutes or whatever they are, and they're super fast. Like, next thing you know, I'm like, wow, this is, it's over, man. So, but it's good. It's worth watching. I recommend it for sure, too. So, Dragon says, maybe Michonne sees an orange backpack and shoots it with a harpoon to pull it out of the horde. Yeah, so there's a lot of things left. Like, I'm glad I don't know all the information that's going to happen with all the different stuff. Like, I'm really glad I don't know everything to expect in this season or season, whatever it is, the first season of the show. But we do know and potentially see different things, with Rick, Michonne. So we know that Rick and Michonne are going to be reunited. We know that Major General Beale is going to be seen, is going to be impacted with Rick. They're going to talk. We're going to see Jadis. We're going to see more of the etching. Hopefully that'll be explained. So it looks like a lot of the stuff is going to be explained from Rick's last episode and Michonne's last episode. So Rick's last episode was he got flown away by Jadis in the helicopter, and they flew away. Michonne's last episode, she found the boots and the etching and the 2 people from the Pioneer group, and then that's kind of where we're at. Everything else is Major General Beale from World Beyond. Jadis was on World Beyond. Are we going to see anybody else from that? Are we going to see other connections with the variants and other stuff? I really have no idea. Like, there has to be more to the show, and I think there will be, but I don't know how much more there's going to be besides Rick and Michonne being reunited. It's like, great, then what? Then what? It's wishful thinking to think that Rick and Michonne, even though they are 2 of the major badasses in the Walking Dead universe, can take down the CRM, which is the biggest military operation in the world in the Walking Dead universe. Right? They got helicopters. They got Humvees. They got automatic weapons. They got armor. They got everything under the sun. But I guess if 4 teenagers can take down part of the CRM, what can Rick and Michonne do? Right? You would think that Rick and Michonne, well, especially Rick, he's in the inside. And if he loses his hand, he's at a detriment for that. If he's this, if he's that, we'll have to see if it actually happens or not. But Rick, like, why wouldn't Major General Beale kill Rick? Right? What big thing is Rick being alive matter? Why keep him alive? Obviously, because we want him alive. We want the story. They have to be reunited and blah, blah, blah. Why are Michonne's people, if it's the Pioneer people or other people, or whoever else comes along, or if it's just Michonne by herself, why are they going to go after the CRM? Why are they going to help Rick? Why are they going to help Michonne? Why are they going to join the fight? And who are they? Why are there so many of them? And where are they coming from and everything? Like, hopefully it's explained, because that's still, it's not a plot hole, but I guess it's just major opening still that needs to be answered. And I just want these questions answered and a whole lot more. You know, they have to have some fan service. I don't know if, like I don't know. I know Morgan has said, Lenny James has said that he's done playing the character unless there's some really good writing and there's a reason to come back. He doesn't say that he's totally done with it. I don't know the stance of Rick and Michonne, Janai and Andy, what their actual stance is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the plan is for the future of stuff. And I would assume they have a plan. They put in $13 million an episode. They put in a lot of money behind this. So hopefully it pays off. It's rewarding and exciting and also setting things up. You know, hopefully that's what it is. Let me see. Jonathan asks, Q&A, in the trailer, why did Rick say wife instead of girlfriend? I don't recall them being married like Glenn and Maggie were. So, yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's just saying that's his wife. I mean, maybe they got married secretly. Maybe I have no idea. That's a great thing. That hopefully it's explained. You know, because that's a. Hopefully they're not jumping the shark too much in this series, because they already have in the Walking Dead universe for a lot of people. But hopefully they have stuff like that makes sense and it's explained and covered and talked about. Brandon Q&A, because it says new series rather than limited series for the upcoming AMC shows, you think that implies? It doesn't imply anything to me, Brendan, because I don't know what their plan is for it. And I don't even know if they want to say multiple seasons, multiple, you know, whatever. I don't, because it may be this is their series, but they continue on another show or another thing that way. Like, I think they're leaving it open. And because, you know, it's like the Daryl Dixon show was supposed to be the Daryl and Carol show. And then it became the Daryl Dixon show. Now it's Daryl Dixon, Book of Carol. So is it going to be something like that for season 2? I don't know. I don't know what their thing about it is. Zach Dixon, Masked Ninja, do you think Major General Beale is secretly working with Madame Janae by trying to take over the world? Like, no, I mean, now we're trying to force all these connections, right? Like, is Daryl going to come across Rick's brother? Is Daryl going to do some connection with this or that? Or is anybody from the Daryl Dixon show going to be connected with the other parts of the Walking Dead universe? Like, a lot of times, like, is Madison connected to Rick? Is Madison Rick's, you know, family member? Is so-and-so, like so many people would say everything because we see characters in there too. Like, this isn't a soap opera where everyone has to be connected, or cousins or second cousins or former roommates of a cousin that was this, that. It's just like second cousins or whatever, you know. I don't know. But I don't think we need to have that. I don't think we really need to have, you know, Madame Janae knows this and Major General B or whatever. Like, that would be kind of cool if it is. But I hope there is some sort of CRM connection. But it doesn't have to be Major General Beale, because it just doesn't. We'll have to see, you know, how it's going too. So. Brian asks, hey, Brian, why is the franchise giving almost everyone a kid now? And please don't say for the Gen Z show. I don't know. Like, I think, like, when I'm writing, like, so I finished my last book writing-wise. Now we're in the editing process, and my wife has to finish her last 6 chapters, and then I have to go through it, and then we'll get it out. But it's, when you think zombie show or zombie story, you think zombies, you think safety, security, blood, guns, dogs, RVs, malls, this, that. But you also think kids repopulating. getting back to the way it is, the way it was. Having everyone die off or a certain percentage die off and then repopulating stuff. So I think that's kind of just part of the lure of a zombie apocalypse story too, is with kids. But we don't need annoying kids. Like, that's not, like, we need more, Judiths and like older Carls. So a Judith and a Carl versus a Sam and a Spencer, like people like that are just like, come on, So, I mean, it's just, there's a lot of stuff. The idea of, the zombie apocalypse story of The Walking Dead going forward is good and bad at the same time. Like, some people are hoping or thinking that Isabel and Althea are going to show up, and Althea and Isabel are going to be connected with the helicopter pilots and stuff now too. Remember where like people thought Strand was flying the helicopter when Rick was looking at? And I saw somewhere wrote in my comments of my trailer breakdown that Michonne is looking up probably at the helicopter. We're assuming it's a helicopter, just like Rick was at the end of The Walking Dead. So when in doubt, they're going to redo, copy, connect, call back things from The Walking Dead universe, which is fine. It's familiar. It's easy. It just connects. And so it's good. So I'm good with it. I'm happy with it. It's all good. Because I like things that come back around again. Callbacks, connections, Easter eggs. It's just good. I don't know. It just feels familiar, and it builds that continuity, in my opinion. Mr. Arkham FTW. Q&A, how do you think Rick Grimes will react when he first sees Michonne for the first time in years and how she found him? So, I don't know. It depends. Is he in danger? Is he this? Is he that? If he's of sound mind in there too, it's probably going to be disbelief. Like, is this real? Am I hallucinating it? And so that's how I would think about it too. Like, I don't know how many years have passed since Michonne and Rick have seen each other. So Michonne, the last time Michonne saw Rick, he was on the bridge, has the gun out, boom, fires at the dynamite, blows it up, and the bridge blows up. And so it's crazy that they never found a body and never saw this, and never say never and all that good stuff too. But it's just like, wow, I can't, but I don't, and it's just cool. Like, I don't know. But I would think disbelief. Like, is this real or not? Is he hallucinating? Yeah, I don't know. Well, Isabel and Althea were connected, and I know Althea wanted to be done with the show. I think that was why she left Fear. But it would be, like, I wouldn't mind connections like that. Like, if there are connections with Fear, like Althea, but Althea has Isabel, they have no connection with Rick. They have no connection with Michonne. They have no idea, no reason to connect. So it would connect with us, the audience, but not the characters. Like, if stuff is connecting and I don't think, because Denai, Andrew, or Andy, Scott, and the other people, like, they're producers. Like, they're involved with this. They're involved with the production of it. So I would assume that they are putting their stamp of approval. Like Gimple, he's going to do whatever. But Angie and Denai, they probably want it to be done right. But they didn't write it, I would assume. I don't think they're writers. I think they're executive producers. So I don't know what we'll have to see. There's just a lot of questions that are good, which is going to draw people in. And then Victoria de Miguel. Hi, bro. Hi, Q&A. Do you think the ones who live will revive interest in The Walking Dead? If this doesn't happen, will it be in The Walking Dead universe? I mean, the end is near. The end is coming. Whether this show does amazing or not, because less people are watching the Daryl Dixon show, and less people are watching Fear the Walking Dead and Dead City and this. So I would assume this. So I believe Daryl Dixon was the biggest AMC Plus streaming show or most viewed or some sort of thing. I don't know what the actual accolades were, But I believe it was up there as one of the most viewed shows or something on their streaming service. So that's a good thing. That's a good sign. And if you like the Daryl show, you're probably going to watch The Ones Who Live. I would assume if you like Daryl, you like Rick and Michonne, or you're at least interested in it, right? So I know that it's interesting because it's awesome because you get to see the world continue, but they have to give us something for it too. So I just like the idea of that too. No, I'm not familiar with that channel, and I'm not familiar with other stuff like, with other YouTube stuff. Like this used to be like one of my main focuses in life. Especially in The Walking Dead season 6, which I still think is the best season of The Walking Dead universe. And then the Negan lineup and all that stuff. Like that was like the biggest thing going on. Like I was so interested in it, and I wanted to see what was happening with the Negan lineup and finding out information and getting this stuff and making videos every day and posting videos every day. And there's been a lot of channels that over the years that I've been doing this. I've been doing this for a long time. So the end of this month, I think, is 9 years that I've been on YouTube, which is like way too long, but no, it's a good amount of time. So, and we're still talking about The Walking Dead universe. And before that, The Walking Dead universe was still going. And it was before that. Like I wish I started probably 2 years earlier. And that's when the real stuff would have been good and the real popularity would have been around, and we would have had so many more big discussions, and it just would have been so much better for all parties. But we started in season 6, which was still a good point of talking, and we'll still continue on with it. And so I still plan to go. We're going to talk about The Ones Who Live, Daryl Dixon show, Dead City, and then wherever it goes. Like the best thing I think The Walking Dead universe could do, which I don't know if they'll do it or not, is Rick, Michonne, they survive, Major General Beale. So like Major General Beale is like a major character, but he's not. Like he has no bearing on anything but World Beyond. He has no say. He'd never seen him on The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead, and he has a son on World Beyond. And he's mentioned in World Beyond. Now, if you watch World Beyond, then you know who the character is. Now, people probably are clicking articles or reviews and watching videos to find out if they never watched World Beyond. But he's not like a huge character that we've seen before. Like, this is the first time we're seeing this character and the actor that's portraying him. So it's something that's cool, but we need villains. We need the CRM. So if they're going to do a final big battle of one last season, whether it's season 12 of The Walking Dead or, a spinoff or movies or another show, or like, I think they could wrap up the Rick and Michonne show or series or characters if it was like 10, 13 or 16 episodes, but it's only 6. So I think they're going to leave the door open for the CRM and Rick, Michonne, and all that stuff too. Because if you think about the timeline, the CRM is still around like so many years later. Like I don't even know what the exact timeline or how many years it's been since Rick's been away, or 7 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever. But it's been some time. So this is, I'm guessing, supposed to bridge the gap a little bit. Like, why hasn't Rick got away? Has he tried to get away multiple times? Or what has happened here? Did he give up on it? So was he injured, and then it took him so many years to get healthy again to go work? Because it would. Like, he was injured. Like, he was basically mortally injured. He had a piece of rebar in his body for so much time, and then ripped it out, and he was bleeding all over the place, and then they stabilized him, and they kept him alive. But he lost a lot of blood, and he had some major damage in his body. But we're talking about fictional universe here, so it doesn't really matter too much. But it's going to be, interesting to see what happens with it. But I still stand by the fact that they need to end the Walking Dead universe with everyone going against the CRM. But, with Dead City going this way and that, just to kind of have the Negan show with Maggie and the New Babylon stuff and then New York City. New York City is not that far away from Philadelphia. So to think that the CRM has no bearing in New York City is pretty ridiculous, right? Because if they're such this big badass militia and they have all this firepower and all this stuff. They could easily go take Manhattan, could easily go take New York. They could easily go take things. You would think they're going to talk about it. You would think they're going to mention it. And maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But there's just so many things too. So, now with Rick in potentially Rick, possibly Rick, probably Rick, in the CRM pilot gear. Or I don't even know if it's actually pilot stuff or if it's just attire that is part of, because CRM has different, I guess ranks and positions and everything too. But it looks like pilot stuff. So does he know how to fly? Did he steal something? Did he blend in? Was he taught how to do stuff? Did he kidnap people and learn on his own? Like, there's all these questions. Like, are they going to get a helicopter and fly away? But then they risk bringing the CRM to the Commonwealth, or they don't even know what the Commonwealth, I'm guessing, or Alexandria, Hilltop, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of questions left that are great and exciting and interesting, but I don't know if that many people are that interested still. I am, and probably everyone here is, but is it enough people going to be interested enough to watch? I hope so. Isaiah, do you think Rick takes out Major General Beale? I don't know. Like, I would assume people are going to die. I would assume new characters that are there, they're going to die. But I would assume Major General Beale needs to survive to be like a governor type thing. Are they going to kill him and then that's the end of that? We wrap that up? Because if the CRM is so massive and big, I would assume that there's other people to take over if Major General Beale died. Like, it would be pretty foolish if there wasn't ranks. So, Major General Beale, and then colonels and lieutenant colonels and this, and, all these different ranks that will be there, commanders and, commanding officers, and just like a million things that they could have. So I doubt they would be taking out all those people, but it would be kind of cool to see some connection points with the World Beyond stuff, and they would need help to get it done, and I don't know what the future of that's going to be, too. Do you think Major General Beale is going to be Rick's biggest rival? I'm guessing so. I see Major General Beale being like the governor. He's a military governor. And we saw Rick interact with the governor. They talked about this. They met there. They're already meeting in the trailer. So I think it's going to be that. I don't think The Walking Dead Ones Who Live is going to be revolutionary, game-changing, so different that we've never seen before. If you just think of all the stuff Rick's done before and all the stuff Michonne's done before, they're going to rinse and repeat that over and over and over and over again, too. So I would think that Major General Beale is the governor. Rick's going to meet with them. They're going to have this. They're going to do that. They're going to talk. And, Rick's going to have to stay alive, and then Rick's going to be in danger, and then bing, bada, boom, Michonne's going to save him, and there you go. But 6 episodes just doesn't seem like a long time. So the governor got a full season and then a couple episodes in season 4. And Major General Beale has this major military stuff at his disposal, and we're supposed to think that he's just going to be taken out by Rick. That'd be pretty lackluster and pretty weak, in my opinion, too. So there's a lot of good stuff in there too. I mean, I have faith that it's going to be good. I got to manage my expectations, because if I see it, the trailers, the sneak peek. So like, there's been some photos that have gone around of Jadis, Major General Beale, the guy that's with Michonne. Just a lot of stuff going on. So I think someone tries to escape, and someone tries to do this, and someone tries to do that, and so it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like the six episodes thing is what's messing with me. Because, I mean, it worked with Daryl. It worked with Dead City. But I just feel like there's too much left on the table with Rick. Do you guys agree? Am I like weird thinking that? Am I like way off thinking that there's still so much left to be answered and 6 episodes is not enough? Or I don't know. Brian asks, do you think Michonne's line at the end implied that they're going to take control of CRM or be allied with them? I don't know. I mean, so I'm hoping that some people of the CRM, which again stands for the Civic Republic Military, because the bigger thing is the Civic Republic. I'm hoping that there's good people in the CRM, so the bad people will be taken out, the good people will rise up, and then they can work together. Because I don't think they don't have enough firepower, and it would be pretty wishful thinking to have this big major battle and war, and that the CRM wouldn't win. But if they have help from the inside and wrap up stuff, I don't know. They have to have help. Rick and Michonne aren't superheroes. It's not Superman and Supergirl and Wonder Woman or whatever. They just don't have the ability to do all that. They're just flesh and blood. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that has to make sense, and I'm saying they would have to have help too. So I don't think they would take control of it. I think but that's been the talk for a little bit now. Like when they were filming, there was all this stuff and all stuff. I heard they're going to take control of this. I heard this is going to happen. I heard that's going to happen. I heard that the World Beyond people are going to show up. I heard this. It's just so crazy. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. Remember that curly-haired kid at the prison who was with those two crazy sisters who saved Tyrese? I wonder why he showed up for like 2 and then left for like a second. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that was good, especially in the first 3 seasons, because you had Frank Darabont and then, Glenn Mazzaro, and you had all these different showrunners. And then you had to just piece it all together. You have the comics, you have the story, but this is uncharted stuff. Fear the Walking Dead was uncharted. World Beyond was uncharted. There's no source material for that. That's on its own. That's like doing its own thing. So the writing is there from the comic aspect, but then you're branching off and you're doing its own thing, which Fear the Walking Dead missed the mark on multiple levels, in my opinion. World Beyond, same thing. Some things worked, some things didn't, but ultimately a lot of stuff was just a waste of time. Now, one of the best things ever about the Walking Dead universe is Daryl Dixon. And Daryl Dixon has nothing to do with the comic. He has nothing to do with it. He's just on the show and in the Walking Dead universe on the show. And it's uncharted stuff. But it helps and it works because it's so interesting to connect that character with Rick. So you can give Daryl extra storylines. Here, we have a whole military angle that's like doing its own thing. We have Rick and Michonne, which are doing they're doing uncharted stuff in the Walking Dead universe. Now, the show adapted the comic, but changed it too. Like Carol was a far different character. Morgan was a far different character. They tweaked the little things. They added characters for the show that were just for that. Some of the best people on the show and the most beloved stuff were different or just added for the show. There's a lot of people on the TV show that had nothing to do with the comic at all, or they survived longer than their comic story, which was good, which was great. And I'm glad that happened for a lot of people. Now, this being said, we'll see if the World Beyond stuff carries over into the Ones Who Live, because it makes sense if it does. And I hope it does, because watching the World Beyond and Fear the Walking Dead at this point was a waste of time, especially as Fear the Walking Dead made no sense from start to finish. We are in California, we go to Mexico, we go to Texas, we go to Louisiana, we go to Georgia. Hey, we're back together. Let's go back to California for no reason. Hey, let's get in the car. Let's roll out. Great. World Beyond at least connected with Major General Beale, Jadis, Philadelphia, Rick, not a cure, but fighting the walkers, some sort of just setting things up there too. So I hope that makes sense to come back around, because it's just like, what are we doing then? What are we doing? And at the end of the day, they probably don't care. They want you to watch, and that's it. They want you to buy the merchandise, and that's it. So I'm hoping that stuff makes sense for this show and beyond. Like, all good things must come to an end, right? I think 6 episodes is not a lot to end things. So, and it's not going to end things. because we're going to have 6 episodes, and then we have the Daryl show. And then we have the Dead City show. We still don't even know who Carol was talking about, who came back to, I guess, the Commonwealth or Alexandria or Hilltop. Like, I have no idea how or who or where Carol was talking about. But that timeline's so far ahead. Could she really have been talking about Rick and Michonne? They came back? Or Michonne came back and Rick died? Or Rick came back and Michonne died? Like, I mean, I doubt either of those things, but could that happen? Because the writers can do whatever they wanted. They've killed off pretty big characters time and time again. So, I mean, I doubt. Well, I would assume at some point Andy Lincoln is like, I'm done playing the character. And they have to kill off Rick Grimes, right? Like, you have to kill the character off. They have to pull an Iron Man. And Iron Man's done. Robert Downey Jr. is done. Do the snap, and Rick Grimes is done. They put a statue of him up somewhere or a plaque or something. And there you go. Rick Grimes is immortalized in the Walking Dead universe. He's done, so he doesn't need to answer anymore. He goes killed off. Even though I'm guessing Robert Downey Jr. probably still gets questions asked about, will he come back? Will he come back? Will he ever come back? Could he come back? Will he come back? Should he come back? Will he come back? You think he'll come back? How much money would it take to come back? Right? So it's just like, I don't know. But ultimately, guys, we're 6 weeks away from the Walking Dead universe coming, The Ones Who Live. My book series, Fight For Us, The End. We're getting there. It's been crazy the past couple days and everything, so I'm hoping my wife can read a couple chapters today and continue with that editing, and then we'll have that going. And as soon as she finishes hers, and then boom, I will finish that up. I've been working on the book cover and everything too, so it's cool for, wrapping things up, but it's kind of sad at the same time, But I saw the end. Like I said, I had the idea for a book series. I was like, I have the idea for like at least 20 books. And that'll be the 20th book of the series. And it's crazy to think that way, too. So, I want to spend the last couple minutes of the stream to tell you guys that you can do it. Whatever it is. Take the time. Put the time in. It's not a quick process at all. Like, I started writing this book series, in 17 or something. Time flies, so I don't even know. But I remember asking people on a live stream, talking to people on Facebook, in social media and everything like that. And I asked, do people still read books? Paperback, digital, how do you do it? And people are like, I still read. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a book series. I had this idea for a zombie story. I'm going to do it. And there's underlying tones in the book about friendship and life and hard work and going through things and everything like that too. And that's what it also comes down to. So I was like, I'm going to do it. And I put, things that can help motivate and go through things. It's a fictional story. But it comes down to about friends and family and people working for each other and, fighting for each other. Fight for us. It's a simple play on words, but fighting for the people you care about, fighting for the people that matter. And you want those people to fight for you if you're fighting for that too. So, Brian asked, hey, Brian, my best friend is trying to get her book out. Can you help her or give advice? So, hopefully the book is done and completed. If it's like questionable, definitely edit it. My first advice is to write it all down, get it out, edit it, go through it and edit it again. But don't not have a thing where it's ready to come out. So if it is, I don't go through a publisher. I go through, Amazon CreateSpace. So I do it that way. I don't go through a publication company. It's just me doing all the material and making the books. But you can hire people and do all that. So if anything, worst case is you can go through the independent route through CreateSpace on Amazon. But yeah, and just keep working hard. Everyone's a critic. Everyone's going to tell you can't do it, whatever it is. But you can. You really can do things in life. I have had, when The Walking Dead was popular and I started to switch over, because this was a physical therapy channel, a motivational channel, a personal training channel about diet, exercise, nutrition, everything, fitness stuff on there too. And then I was like, you know what? I love The Walking Dead. I see people talking about it. I'm going to talk about it too and join in there too. And people said that my channel sucked and there was this and I was this and I was that, blah, blah. But I don't care. I can't stop people from how they talk and how they are, but I'm going to keep being me and keep working hard and take their input for what it is. Some of it's constructive, some of it's criticism, and some of it's constructive criticism. So it's how it is. So you work on from it and change how you want to be. As long as you're not hurting yourself or others, it's usually a pretty good thing. But ultimately, keep working hard, whether you're good singing, dancing, drawing, going to a career, going to be a gamer, going to be something, but also be smart about it. It's not going to be quick. None of it is quick. I went, to school for 7 years and got my doctorate of physical therapy. 7 years. Plus high school for 12 years, high school for 4 years, and high school for all those K through 12. So all those grades. So all those years of schooling, plus grad school, plus undergrad. So all that years of schooling, all that education, internships, rotations, education, passing exams, license exam, this exam, that exam, working over and over and over and over again, working hard. And it takes time. But everything good in life takes time. If everything was done so quickly, it just wouldn't be done right, and it wouldn't be so rewarding when it's there. Like if you working on something your entire life on something, you're going to put the time, energy, and effort into it to make sure it's done right. If you have a short amount of time to do it, it's going to be done quickly and it's going to be rushed. So do it if you want to make sure you want to do it and go in there too. And people ask me from time to time again. It's called Kindle Direct Publishing. That's what there too, but it's like CreateSpace is another thing too. So it's Kindle Direct, but Kindle Direct just means it's to the Kindle. So the direct publishing is you can make paperback versions as well, hard copies, and mine's just kind of like a soft paperback book, and also the Kindle versions too. So then I looked into it. Like no one told me how to do this. No one told me how to write a book series or how to write and how to do this. And it started off kind of rough. I didn't know what I was doing. I should have took my time to the edit it process before I published it. And I learned the hard way for the first couple books that it wasn't ready for publication. But I should have took my time a little bit more and went through the editing process. But I had to look up, how do I do this? And I thought about going the publisher route and trying to do this and do that. But the good thing about Amazon is that it doesn't get made until people order it. So if you order the book, they have the file in the system and the cover, and it's made and it's produced. They don't have a bunch of the books sitting there, so wasting all this paper. When people buy it, then it's produced, so they're not doing it ahead of time. Because what if no one buys it? What if they have 1,000 copies published and no one's buying it? Then you just wasted all that paper. Also, the digital format on Kindle, which is always good too. There's no waste there. There's no paper, of course. So that's another medium as well. And so there's a lot of stuff that I don't even know about that you guys can go into. I love talking to patients that are retired or have careers, and they tell me all about stuff that I have no idea about. Like I'm not a big boater. I don't have any boats or anything like that. But I know people that own a mechanic shop for boats, and they're busy all the time. Like too busy. He's like, I could work 7 days a week if I wanted to, because it's busy all the time. And it's kind of cool, go into that area, go into, plumbing, carpentry, HVAC, whatever, pool stuff, lawn care, something that makes you happy. You don't have to do it in a traditional way. Be a YouTuber, be something like that way too. But also, do something that's rewarding to yourself, but also other people too. That would be rewarding. Like it feels good when I help people as a physical therapist. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm making a difference. I'm helping people the right way and making sure they're being safe. Safety first and always is one of my mottos, what I tell my patients too. So I know it's a Walking Dead channel and a Walking Dead stream, but if I can have a little motivational, inspirational, educational things, it's always good to reach people. You know, that was the one thing I had as well, that you can reach people on a medium here. And be careful what you read, see, and do, especially on social media, because if everyone has if you go follow someone or watch a video and they have the answers, oh, I'm going to get you rich, or I'm going to get you this, I'm going to get you that. They probably just want to sell you the idea of doing that. So then they get rich on doing that. And maybe they give you general concepts or general things. And maybe it works and maybe it doesn't. But at the end of the day, you got to be careful with what they're doing too. So, so like Lindsay's doing something, trying to do there too. So yeah, start small, have low expectations or goals and everything as well. And it's awesome too. So, Anissa says, I'm a licensed optician, helping people see better. Exactly. So that's a great career. You know, if I could do it over again, I would probably stay in the medical field, maybe a different part of the medical field, just because physical therapy documentation is like terrible at times, and it's so consuming and such a headache and just annoying. But ultimately, guys, that's my time. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about the Walking Dead Universe. I would say we got the trailer. Maybe some more information came out. I saw an article on Entertainment Weekly where they interviewed Terry, the guy who plays Major General Beale. So he talks about the character and everything there too, and he didn't watch the show before, and he didn't really have to because it's kind of a separate thing. But ultimately, guys, I'll be back next Sunday to talk about the Walking Dead Universe and hopefully the Cowboys win and who they play next week. But ultimately, guys, remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Keep working hard, guys. Be safe. Stay warm. And I'll see you